devotees. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tata Jayam Udire Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashti. Hare Krishna. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam 21st chapter 70 shloka number 21 and 22. Suta uvacha evam dharme pravadati saha samrat dvijasattamaha samahitena manasa vikheda paryachashtatam Raja uvacha dharmam bravishi dharmagyaha dharma asi vrusharupadruka yat adharma kruta sthanam सूचकस्य अपि तद्भवेत् सूतः उवाच एवं धर्मे प्रवदति सः सम्राट द्विजसत्तमाः समाहितेन मनसा विखेदः पर्यचष्टतम् राजा उवाच धर्मं प्रविशि धर्मज्ञः धर्म असी वृषरूपधुक यत् अधर्मकृतः स्थानं सूचकस्यपि तद्भवेत् हरे कृष्ण सूत उवाच एवं धर्मे प्रवदति स सम्राट द्विजसत्तमः समाहितेन मनसा विखेद परिचष्टतम राजा उवाच धर्मं ब्रवीषि धर्मज्ञः धर्म असि वृषरूपधुकः यत् अधर्मकृतः स्थानं सूचकस्यपि तद्भवेत् Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Suta Goswami said, O best among the Brahmanas, the Emperor Parikṣit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied, and without mistake or regret he gave his reply. The king said, O you, who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of religion. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The statement of the bull, the personality of religion, was full of philosophy and knowledge, and the king was satisfied since he could understand that the supreme bull was not an ordinary word. Unless one is perfectly conversant with the law of the Supreme Lord, one cannot speak such thing touching philosophical truth. The emperor, being also on an equal level of sagacity, replied to the point without doubts or mistakes. Our devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for being a benefactor or mischief monger without the sanction of the Lord. Therefore, he does not consider anyone to be directly responsible for such action, but in both the cases he takes it for granted that either benefit or loss is God sent, and thus it is his grace. In case of benefit, no one will deny that it's God sent, but in case of loss or reverses, one becomes doubtful about how the Lord could be so unkind to his devotee as to put him in great difficulty. Jesus Christ was seemingly put into such great difficulty, being crucified by the ignorant, but he was never angry at the mischief mongers. That is the way of accepting a thing, either favorable or unfavorable. Thus, for a devotee, the identifier is equally a sinner, like the mischief monger. By God's grace, the devotee tolerates all reverses. Maharaj Parikshit observed this, and therefore he could understand that the bull was no other than the personality of religion himself. In other words, a devotee has no suffering at all, because so-called suffering is also God's grace for a devotee who sees God in everything. The cow and bull never placed any complaint before king for being tortured by the personality of Kali. Although everyone lodges such complaints before the state authorities, the extraordinary behavior of Bull made the king conclude that Bull was certainly the personality of religion, for no one else could understand finer intricacies of codes of religion. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 70. Prabhuji will tell us in detail.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. While we go through this, I just remembered a few lines which I had read somewhere regarding what is the topic out here. Austerities now in force, correction for proper course. It is being said, austerities now in force, correction for proper course. Into these difficulties found, assisting is no longer bound. Because liberation slated for me, not again this world to see, hurry in oversight not to relent, in spite of my wayward pain. Austerity is now in force, correction for proper course. So Maharaj Parikṣit took his sword and was prepared to kill Kali. He was such a powerful king that Kali immediately became hopeless, because there was no possibility either fighting or escaping at that moment. However, for killing Kali, Parikṣit Maharaj decided to gather evidence of the crime and so started inquiring from the bull. He asked him, "Who are you? You are as white as white lotus. Are you a demigod? You lost 3 legs, moving only on one. Are you some demigod causing us grief? Now I am observing for the first time in kingdom, which ideally is well protected, that you are grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one ever shed tears because of royal negligence. So, O son of Surbhi, you need not lament anymore. There is no need to fear this low-class Shudra. And O cow mother, as long as I am living, and I am going to be subduing all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good to you." So just look at Maharaj Parikshit. The Kali was actually doing the beating. Parikshit Maharaj saw it. But what is he doing first? He is taking responsibility for the injustice and assuring that it had happened due to his negligence as a king. And then he says that according to the sculptures, a ruler or whosoever is the executive head of the state, he actually takes 1/6 of all the karma of all the citizens of the state, whether they are good or bad. So if someone as a king, as a city ruler, is able to make the subjects pious, then he can accumulate immense qualities and quantities of piousness. But a ruler who fails to do so can accumulate unlimited quantity of sinful reactions and will be entitled to extremely stay long in hell. And that is why Parikshit Maharaj initially blames himself that maybe he has failed, and that is why the bull is being tormented. And then he explains it further. He gives the clarifications further. He addresses so that he can get testimony proving the guilt of Kali. And this is exactly what happens in the modern justice systems as well. If you all see, wherein evidence is at most important. So that is what actually is being tried to be obtained by Parikshit Maharaj out here. And he's hoping that bull would respond to him and give him the evidence which is necessary. But what the bull does is, he speaks instead in a cryptic way. He does not tell actually what is the real reason. What does he say? You king, you are greatest among human beings. But it is very difficult to ascertain one particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings. We are bewildered by different opinions of philosophies. Sage among seeing, you judge for yourself. All over this with your own intelligence. And so he lets Parikshit Maharaj to take a call. So when Bull said something like this, Parikshit Maharaj immediately understands that this is not a normal person. When something so gross is being spoken, it means there is a deep meaning. And Parikshit Maharaj understood that deep meaning. So in the shloka today, it is said that by hearing the personality of religion speak, Maharaj Parikshit was fully satisfied. Without mistake or regret, he immediately responded to the statement which was made by the bull that you decide with your own intelligence. So he said that, oh bull, you may be in the form of a bull, but you're knowing the truth of religion. You're speaking according to the principles that the destination intended for perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. So you are no other than the personality of religion. Now look at the whole scene. The statement is being made by a bull. It is full of philosophy, full of knowledge. Maharaj Parikshit, he is also trained. He is Dvija. So he understood that the suffering of the bull was not an ordinary one. But then, when bull is saying such things, such philosophical truths, it cannot be said by someone who does not have the knowledge. And he himself was equally trained. So he could reply to the point without doubts or any kind of inhibitions. And that is where the learning for us lies today. that irrespective of the sufferings that we have, we should not get disheartened at any point of time. That is why I said that small poem, austerity is now in force, correction for problem force. Into these difficulties found, assisting is no longer bound. Because liberation is slated for me, not again this world to see. Hurry! Hurry means Lord hurry in oversight, not to relent, in spite of my wayward bent. And this actually is the truth of our existence. A devotee concludes that no one is directly responsible for either being someone who is giving us some benefit or trouble, unless he is permitted, sanctioned by Lord. So, a devotee never considers any living being as responsible for any of the action, whether it is a benefit or whether it is a loss. You always understand that it is God sent and it is Krishna's grace upon us. Now, generally, if we see the population, if there is a benefit, no one denies that it is God sent. But in case of loss, reverses, it becomes doubtful how Krishna could be so unkind to put us in great difficulty. It becomes difficult to understand. That is where Prabhupada Ji used example of Jesus Christ. Look at him. He was pinned on the cross, put into such great difficulty, crucified by ignorant persons. But he did never become angry. He in fact said, "Forgive them, Lord. They don't know what they do." So he's telling Krishna, "Forgive them, Lord." Forgive whom? The ignorant persons who were crucifying. And that is the way of accepting a thing, either favorable or unfavorable. So a devotee, for him, the identifier is equally a sinner, just like the mischief monger. Because by God's grace, the devotee tolerates all reverses. As Parikṣit was observing all this, and so he could understand that the bull was no other than the personality of religion himself. For everyone, especially those who are religious in nature, who follow the codes of religion, who follow the instructions of Krishna, for them, no suffering at all is suffering, because it is also God's grace for a devotee who sees God in everything. This was the reason why we see the cow and the bull not putting any complaint before the king, though they were tortured by Kali personally. While in modern times, what we find is, at slightest of issue, everyone lodges complaints before the authorities. What to think of bigger problems? Even within corporate offices, a colleague is not completing something on time, immediate complaint to the superior, he is not working. It's not that we cooperate with each other. This is all the effects of Kali, because we don't understand that whatever is the situation that we are being put in is actually for our own benefit. Whether it be any difficulty in office, in family, in personal life, in social life, economic conditions, or anywhere or everywhere. Today morning, when we were having discussions, one of the persons said, "Why did God give such a big earthquake? So many people have died." We had an earthquake yesterday, day before. So you see, there is no God. And if there is a God, he is not a good God. So I just listened to him. And then I told him that Krishna is equal for everyone. Krishna in fact says, Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You just do your duties. Don't think of fruits. And what are the duties? That also is prescribed by Krishna, I said, when he has said, Chaturvarnyam maya srushtam. So he has divided us into 4 classes according to our qualities, not birth. And we are supposed to be doing their duties. And if we transgress them, if we make mistakes, just like a small kid who is making mistake gets punished by his father or mother, similarly we get punished. Whatever is our karma, the result accentuates. Good results, you are in positive. Bad results, you are in negative. So this karma bank, where you are maintaining this balance of your karma phal, even if it is a positive balance, you will end up going to the higher planetary systems. If it is a negative balance, you will end up having a hellish life. But if it is a zero balance account, you will go directly back to Godhead. So if you want to not have sufferings, then you need to do everything for Krishna, so you don't have any results of your karma. Now here where we see that so many people have been troubled, it's not that they are troubled because they are good today. Whatever sufferings they are having is a result of their past activities, which could be past activities of this birth or earlier any of the birth. They are just having the results because that is the law of the nature. That is the code of religion of Krishna. Whatever you do, you have to suffer for it. And that is why he says, Krishna, in the most secret, confidential knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharma and Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all kinds of religions and surrender unto. Now, when he says religion, religion does not mean the kind of religion that we speak about today. It means your bhava, karma swabhava. So here, Parikṣit Maharaj saw the extraordinary behavior of the bull, and so he could immediately conclude that the bull was certainly the personality of religion, because no one else could understand the intricacies of this code. Now regarding this, Sri Prabhupada ji quotes Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who explains that the word Hari, it means one who takes away. So if one connects himself with Hari, the Supreme Personality of God, the Lord takes away all his miseries. But in the beginning, the Lord also superficially appears to take away all his material possessions, reputation, education, beauty, and so on and so forth. So His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada explains that if a person encounters difficulties, insignificant or severe, or difficulties can be both. So if someone encounters difficulties while following through all the duties of Bhakti Yoga, they should consider the situation to be a gift from Krishna. Krishna is placing us into a field of austerity and penance for a purpose. That weakened state is a way to increase the understanding. It is helping to make progress towards realization of the ultimate goal of life. That is why one of the names of Lord Krishna is Hari, which means one who takes away. Hari, Hare iti Hari. The personality of God is so kind that after approaching him directly, he may actually go against our wishes also. He might take away everything so dear to us, which may seem cruel, heartless. But that is actually endless compassion and mercy of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari is placing us in a difficulty so that it will be easier to remember him. correct the mistake of following the erroneous directions we accepted on the map of life. If we are able to remember the pain, the heartache of deep association with the material world, we'll definitely long more and more for the spiritual world. If we are intelligent, we'll look to avoid the material association in the future. We'll try to stay happy and blissful in serving that one individual who's always looking out for us, who is always the best friend, Suhrudam Suhrudana, who is never going to leave us no matter what happens. And that is Krishna. And that is what is the takeaway of the shlokas that we have studied today. That austerities today are actually for correction of our proper course of way back home, back to Godhead. We should accept everything with open arms. Krishna has created everything for us. Just look at it, Krishna. He sent Srila Prabhupada, who gave us this whole knowledge, who could convert hippies into happies. He gave us our Guru Maharaj, who is guiding us from without. He is there with us as Paramatma in our heart, guiding us from within. He is there in front of us in the form of Archa Vigrahas, Radha Gopinath, as you see right now behind me. He is there with us in the form of Grantha Avtar Srimad Bhagavatam. He is there with us in the form of his holy name, Harinam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And he's so merciful, he came in this Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to make us understand the method of going back home, back to Godhead, and he actually demonstrated it to us in the form of Sankirtan Yajna. So Krishna is there for us. We need not worry. We may not be very good academicians. We may not be very good social persons. But Krishna is there with us. So he is observing everything. We just have to make the endeavor, and he will ensure that we are given the right direction so that we actually go back and serve him as per his desires. Thank you very much.